Tory party, they got lots of jokes. They want to fly to Rwanda to stop the boats. We've had David, Teresa, Boris, and Liz. For 14 years, they tore this country to bits. Rishi Sunak, that's the main guy. When I hear him talk, he sounds like AI. Growing up, he had it roughly said on ITV. Sacrifices were made, no Sky TV. The richest prime minister the UK's ever had. Wife's a millionaire with a billionaire dad. Her dad has a company called Infosys. It gets government contracts for your Infosys. A conflict of interest, if you ask me. Corruption in this government is nasty. Scandalous, squandering billions during COVID, giving their cronies millions. Please, we need apologies for the policies and the prophecies we often see like prophecies. They're Robin Hoods, taking from the poor, tax breaks for the rich and making it the law. Never have I ever heard a pretty Cruella or a Kemi that was semi-self-hating and debating. Not very cleverly or Zahawi, they jar me. They want to send your youth to the army. When Rishi walked out on that TV.
Do you know what? I listen. Lyrics! Ladies and gentlemen, gives me great pleasure to introduce one of our own. Yeah, one of our own, a talent, UK finest hip hop, Mr. BREIS in the building. Welcome along, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me, bro.
Salute, King. Oh, yeah, I love the backdrop, King.
Thank you. Nice one.
Listen, I just played a few of your raps on Instagram, and I was just telling the listeners I came across you with the Rishi Sunak when they announced the election at the time, and of all of the music which was out there, I'm being real with you across the pond and here, your lyrical content stuck out for me. It was so relevant. And I instantly saw that this is a segment this brother could have on TV. You know, you get the little 5-minute, 10-minute segment when someone's I said, this brother can rap this thing and just let everybody know. So for those who don't know who you are, what they should do, introduce yourself and let them know who you are and what you do, King.
All right, nice one. What's up, everyone? My name is BREIS. BREIS stands for Brilliant Rappers Educate Intelligent Students, or Brother Reaching Each Inner Soul. I'm an MC, rap artist, an educator, a writer. I do a lot of work in schools, working with young people, getting them to be creative with their words, rap and poetry workshops. Yeah, I've been around for a while, been doing this for like over 20 years. I'm what you would call an underground hip hop artist. I'm not mainstream or anything like that, you know what I mean? So everything I do, it's out of my own pocket, whether it's recording my EPs, my videos and whatnot. So yeah, I've been doing this for a while. I love it, absolutely love it. And yeah, it's beautiful that my music will connect with different people in different times. So yeah, even you reaching out, that was beautiful. That was really beautiful.
Your music you're underground, but your music's universal because you are touching on topics which are affecting everybody and gives people clarity. Yeah. So there is an underground UK hip hop scene. Yeah. Would you say it's got recognized? Would you say it's been disregarded? I mean, where would you say the UK hip hop scene is?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I think recently I've been saying to myself that the UK hip hop scene is different to the UK rap scene. So I think the hip hop scene is something that isn't really promoted or pushed. It's something confined to the corners of radio or discussions. What I usually hear people talking about UK rap, and the distinction between the two are, I would say, UK rap is like early 2000s onwards. Anything before that is like that's UK hip hop, and it's not really talked about when we talk about black music in the UK. So if you hear when you speak to a lot of, like, I don't know, maybe millennials or Gen Zs, for them, old school to them is Dizzy Rascal, for example.
Yes.
He's like ancient to them. So
What about Kano?
Even Kano, some of them don't even really know Kano like that because they only know him. They know him as an actor.
That's mad, isn't it?
So then they hear him, they go, "Oh, what man raps as well? I didn't even know he rapped." Do you know what I mean? So they don't anything like UK hip hop is like not really on the radar that much. You know, there are a few artists that would be, but for the most part, you know, it's like gigs onwards. That's what they recognize as UK rap.
Do you know one of the things I love watching on YouTube? I love to watch millennials listen to old school rap and their reaction. So I remember watching. So we're from a generation. We remember the Juice Crew, yeah, and I remember them watching the Symphony, yeah, with all. I mean, Big Daddy Kane, Money Marlon, and I remember their reaction. Like it's that thing. That's when you know I got to check my age because they were listening to it, stopping the bars, and he goes, "Ah, Uncle's got bars," and like he said, Uncle said this, like Uncle never had a life. And there was no point did the millennial recognize, well, I'm doing what I'm doing because of these guys. So from a UK perspective, do you think UK artists recognize a hijack, a black twang, a Derek B? Do you think they acknowledge these individuals back then to what they're doing now?
It depends. If you mean like the grime kids,
yeah, UK grime is a difference.
Do you see what I'm saying? They're not necessarily, because there's kind of like a break. It's sort of like a break in the line, so to speak. So they don't recognize the connection necessarily. And I don't think our music was necessarily documented that well. Like, not that we didn't have the means, but there weren't as many platforms. The access was different. So that education is, and that's what I do when I'm in schools. I actually do a whole timeline of hip hop, and I start from like, you know, I go back to like the Sugar Hill Gang, and then I work my way through, and then I come back to the UK, go to Smiley Culture. I talk about, you know, London Posse, talk about Black Twang, Roots Maneuver, Skinny Man, and then I work it to like to Stormzy, Dizzy, Wiley, and all of that. So they kind of get like the timeline, and they kind of see that there's a lot more than they're open to, that they're used to knowing. So yeah.
Where your parents is from?
Nigeria.
Do you entwine Nigerian music, high life into your rap?
Yeah. So one of the things that separated me from other rappers from the UK was when I started to introduce. I speak Yoruba, so I started to rap Yoruba words into my raps.
Oh, okay.
And I used to. One of my first songs is called Identity. And it goes, it's the B to the R to the E to the I to the S and the. I'm an African disguised as a Westerner. The mic is my girl and I'm checking her. And I'd have the talking drum in there. So it was like the first, not the first, but it was a very early example of like fusing Afro beats with hip hop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that kind of separated me from a lot of other rappers. And you know, when I started out, I wanted to be like one of the best in the UK. But then at some point I was like, yeah, but I'm representing Nigeria as well. So I had to bring that into the music as well. Do you know what I mean? And the funny thing was, it was because I heard Black Twang on the radio. And I love Black Twang. And I heard him on the radio one day, and I found out he was Nigerian. And I was like, what? He's Nigerian? How comes I didn't know? I was like, wait a minute. Some people might not know that I'm Nigerian. I must tell them that I'm Nigerian. So I made sure that I put that into, you know, put the vernacular into my raps and whatnot. So yeah, that's kind of like my niche, so to speak.
Black Twang, veteran in the business. And I remember watching him live. He was bringing in the African twang moments into the rap. But one of the people who made it prominent, Ty.
Yes, that's my brother, man. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. And I openly say that I'm familiar with him, but familiar with his music, but not to the depth of probably like yourself and a lot of people. But I recognize when I did see him, it was like this brother here. Do you think someone like Ty was ahead of his time? The UK.
I wouldn't say. Nah, Ty was right on time. I wouldn't say ahead of his time. He was right on time, but I get what you're. I get the question, but I don't think he was ahead of his time. Like he was right for that time, and the times he's been in. Like it's what because when I first heard him, I remember thinking to myself, right, this is a rapper that I can connect with and relate to. Like his way of thinking and his choice of words. That's exactly what I would choose. That's how we became friends. And it was because I connected with him. And I think that it's not that he was ahead of his time, but maybe the UK or the scene wasn't the infrastructure, the mental infrastructure wasn't fully there yet to accept and propel him the way that it needed to.
Yeah.
And it was a different time. It was a totally different time. Gatekeepers galore. It wasn't a digital era. It was an analog time. It's different.
Why do you think, and I'm going to put this out there, yeah? Why do you think then that a Ty or yourself are not embraced for your lyrical and cultural content, but essential C, a sexy red?
Sexy red.
What? Why do you, from your perspective, why do you think that these people are champion? And I'm saying it.
Yeah.
Without hating.
Say that again. Say that last bit.
I'm saying it without it coming across like I respect what they do.
Yeah.
They've created a genre of grime or trap, whatever you want to call it. It's not my, but I respect, but I can't respect the fact of what it stands for and how it's so marketable. And what you look, just by your backdrop alone tells me you know you.
Oh man, you know what it is, right? There's so many different factors, and I'm actually writing something about this now. But I think without getting too conspiracy theory led, I feel like there are people in positions of power that want to push that music, want to push that sound, want to push that message. So they will promote that, they will push that, they will fund that. So there are companies out there, corporate companies that fund artists that talk about murder music, basically, that talk about killing one another. They will sponsor them. They'll pay for their music videos. All of this. There's a lot of stuff going on that we might not recognize. And then you've got record labels that will push, big budgets behind, said artists as well. So, and I'm not picking out the ones you've mentioned, but I'm just saying in general, because what I find is that we know what we know because of what we're fed. And if you keep feeding someone a particular thing, at some point, some will be like, I don't like it, and they'll turn away from it. But for the majority of people, what we're fed is what we're used to and what we're comfortable with. So anything outside of that is weird and strange, to the point now where hip hop, what we know as hip hop, is actually called alternative rap. If you go into Spotify and that, they'll call that kind of hip hop alternative rap, because it's alternative now. It's to them, it's like, yeah, it's a bit weird. It's not. Where's the killing? Where's the food? You talking about food? Where's that? Because that's what they're used to. That's the appetite of the ears. So if you're not producing that kind of sound, there's a particular kind of cadence, there's a particular kind of frequency that you know, people are used to now. And if you're not that, then yeah, can't really work with that.
I've always said to myself that from a British hip hop point of view, we've had the advantage over the Americans for the longest while. We just haven't been recognizing it. That's one thing I will say about the new generation of young people. They have created a narrative of UK listen recognizable music. As we talk about UK garage, we talk about grime, trap. The world is closing in, and I've always said that we are, because of our history of like your parents being from Nigeria or you Nigerian, me being from the West Indies, we have that advantage of fusing our cultures, you know what I mean? And plus the influence of other nationalities. When do you think that America took UK music serious?
Do you know what? I think they always have. I think they always have, from like, you know, acts from the 80s. Obviously you've got the Beatles, right? But then you've got the 80s pop, you know, Eurythmics, David Bowie. So I think there's always been that
Let me
kind of,
rephrase that. Yeah, pop music. Yeah, I get it.
yeah.
I'm talking
Yeah. I was
black.
yeah, I was gonna get to that. I was gonna get to that. I was gonna go to like Soul to Soul, Omar.
Mm.
But I think they only had a few examples and a few groups and individuals that they could pinpoint. So I would say, like, you know, Soul to Soul, Jazzy B, and Omar, because that's who I hear. That's when I hear certain artists speak about, you know, Black Brits. Those are the people that I hear them talk about. Do you know what I mean?
No, real man. So look, where do you see your because things I'm following you there. If you put out there, I'm following what you're doing. Where can you see your music in the future? How can you make it, put it out there? Where can you see it in the future?
Well, you know what, you said something earlier on, which, you know, I feel like my music is universal. It's very personal. It's cultural, spiritual. Sorry, this hay fever is getting me, boy. I'm
It's
telling you, man.
you need some Nigerian remedies. At least,
It's 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 proper getting me. It's like, take that, pa, take that, pa.
Mr. Pollen, Mr. Pollen.
Yeah, yeah. Pollen's like, oh yeah, let's talk. No, I see it as a something that's very universal. And, you know, over the years, I've done a lot of my shows have been actually abroad. They've been in Europe a lot. So what I really would like to see happen is my music really take off here, both here in the UK and also back home in Nigeria. So I guess I'm going to be targeting you know, those certain demographics a bit more, certain regions a bit more. You know, God willing, I hope to be doing more shows, you know, towards the end of the year and next year. I'm working on my album at the moment, which is coming together nicely. And yeah, you know, I think that especially with what's just recently happened in terms of like the political raps that I put out there and the way people connected with it, kind of showed me something. And I want to tap into that a little bit more, get a bit more savvy with social media as well. Like even you telling me how you came across my music, that was someone from, was it the Bahamas?
Yeah.
Like,
No. Barbados. My cousin Alison,
right,
in Barbados.
Barbados, right. So it's clearly move, and that's the thing. Sometimes you have to kind of like, I mean, I didn't work it this way, but sometimes it's when things pop off, when you connect with places outside of the UK and then it comes back into the UK, there's a bit more buzz, like, ooh, and it feels like that kind of happened with this, because I had people telling me that they got sent this from someone in the States. Do you know what I mean? Or Ghana. And I'm just like, what? So it's weird. I can't really explain it, but I think it's just about getting more savvy with social media, because I think I've always looked down on social media because I never really got it to the point where I didn't I don't, what's viral? I don't know viral. I don't know what is viral. I just see people going viral all the time, right? So this was my first kind of like mini viral moment. And I'm like, oh, it's sort of possible. Okay. So let me lean into it a little bit more and then just see what comes of that. So yeah.
Yeah, when my cousin said it to me, and of all my family members, she was the least. I was the least expecting her to send me that. She's a hardcore Christian. She said it to me. Let me do it with voice. She said, "Look, listen to this here. Look, listen to this."
The spirit knows. The spirit knows.
and I listened to it. I said to her, I said, "Cuz, are you backsliding?" But it was just the lyrical content, literally at the time where we was like, "Nah, these guys have got to go, man." Everything in the universe just connected, and that was your moment, or you've had other moments, but at that moment, this was for BREIS. BREIS was speaking to the world who were affected by these individuals within this little house in Downing Street and the decisions they made. Have you got any kickback from it? That particular rap?
Not really, I've got invited to perform. Got invited to perform at an event called Uppity the other day, which is like political discussion kind of arena. I saw some of the I even saw some of the spokespeople that I see on TV chatting nonsense in there. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it was good to just be able to just talk my talk or rap my rap. I heard it got into Parliament. Someone messaged me and said, "Bro, your stuff's in Parliament, you better mind out that 007 don't come for you." So, but there hasn't really been any pushback. It's just been so much support. So many people saying that's exactly what I was feeling. That's exactly how I was feeling about the government, the politicians, the lies, the media, all kind of things. So it's been really encouraging, and it reminded me of the power of tapping into what people are feeling and what people are going through. Do you know what I mean? That's the power of rap music, when you can really tap into like the pain and the struggle, the frustrations that people are going through, as opposed to just a personal thing. And I usually focus on like the personal thing, which is still universal, but when you can connect with the masses on something that they're going through, then it's like, oh wow, okay, I forgot about that. And that's something Fela Kuti used to do so well in his music. He used to really tap into what the people were feeling, what the people were going through. That's why he was just a revolutionary, musician. So it's a good reminder for me to tap into that.
That particular rap, there's only two things I've seen go viral, which just connected with people. So there's your rap, and there's a lady, I don't know if you heard of her on social media, big on TikTok, called Black Karen. And you might have seen this particular piece, and she speaks about the rioters. The one that says, "Dusty."
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Hey,
yo.
When you saw it, I was like, BREIS can put this into a rap. I've followed her since, right? When I tell you,
I need to know her name on online.
It's Black Karen, and she's actually that particular, because what she was saying, yeah, there were some cuss words in it, but what she was saying, yeah, was so connectable and so knowledgeable, and the fact that it was coming from, it was like, we know the difference between someone just sprouting profanities, that was coming from the soul. And it was like our parents, you need to hear this.
Yeah. Yeah. I could not believe how drawn to it. I can't stand profanity. I was so drawn to everything she was saying. I was like, yes, come with those words still. Because everything she was saying, she was articulate with it. She was coming with some history. She was, what? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Loved it.
That's what reminded me of when I watched hers after yours. I was like, you know what? This is giving me hope here as a Black Brit that we have people like yourself and Black Karen amongst us and our communities who will speak out, but also own our Britishness, but also recognize culturally where we're from.
Yeah.
And like you said, I ain't going nowhere. So listen, I just want to ask you before we wrap up here, next minutes. As we said that your music highlights what is going on. That's what I've recognized in it. So going to the Buju argument in Afro-beats.
Right. Yes.
How did you, from a Nigerian perspective, what do you think what Buju said? How did that resonate with you, being from Nigerian roots and obviously Afro-beats and high life? Well, no, I'm not going to mention high life because that's a different genre.
Yeah.
Afro-beats. How do you think that statement resonated with you?
Yeah, well, fortunately, I listened to it like 2 days ago, because I heard the noise around it. So I'm like, what did he say? What did he say? So when I listened to it, I was like, oh, okay, I understand what he's saying. And there was a part of it that was like, but for the most part, I actually agreed with what he was saying. Because I've said the same thing. I've said similar things over the years. And the part which I disagree with, so what he was saying is that Afrobeats lack substance. And, which Afrobeat song can you mention that uplifts the people and whatnot? So here's the problem with that part is that when you say uplift the people, what do you mean? Because one of the things that Afrobeats music does, it brings joy to people. It brings joy to the people of Nigeria, of West Africa, of the world, because joy is one of the things. You see, music is about feeling, right? And it's not just when you hear music that is preaching to you, or it's not just when you hear music that's making you feel aspirational. It's also some music that brings you joy. And the problem is, in back home, there's a lot of the struggle is real. Like, we're feeling cost of living here, but trust me, cost of living back home is mad.
It's in the rise, and this. Do you know what it highlighted to me? It really showed me, like, even from here, from a Black British perspective, we do not know or understand each other's struggles, so to speak. Like, I only knew about SARS 3 years ago.
Right.
And then you talk to fellow Nigerians, male, female, and you're like, this has been police brutality. That's been going on for donkeys.
Yeah.
And then I will get upset from a Western point of view when Africans tell me about George Floyd, and it's like, well, I'm worried about when I'm going to eat. So the Black Lives Matter struggle don't mean nothing to me because I live amongst struggle every day. So yeah.
So you can't tell the people that are struggling in their lives, and then they hear music that uplifts their spirit, that music is not uplifting. Now, is it music of substance? That's debatable now. Now, I always used to have a problem with a lot of Afrobeats music, which is different from Afrobeat music. Okay. Afrobeat music was in its conception, its conception, it was more political.
Yes.
It was more social commentary, a lot of social commentary, and love and whatnot. But it was a lot of social commentary and very political as well. In fact, it was like a weapon, right? It was like beating the government and the police over the head with, do you know what I mean? That's what that music was. But Afrobeats music, which is more just Afro pop music, has more been about just having a good time. And you know, don't forget about your struggles right now. Just come and just enjoy. Just come and enjoy. That's the vibe of the music. And you know, over the last 20 years, it has blown up to a point where, you know, before, back in the day, parents wouldn't want their children to be musicians because it was looked down on. It was looked down upon. It was like, you can't make money from that. But now, oh, go ahead, because they've seen examples of successful musicians. So it's no longer looked down upon. So any formula that's working, and you know, I call it shaky bum bum music. If the shaky bum bum music is working, then all the young artists that are coming up are also going to want to do shaky bum bum music. So you know,
and I think that comes with a sense of, I think where Ribridges come from as well, because there is no balance.
yes,
We are just like we're going back to the original UK hip hop. We are just seeing grime. We are just seeing artists who have no substance, but we are seeing it make a bag of money. And I think that if we saw the balance where there was Afrobeat, uplifting cultural music to address what's going on in Niger and other parts of Africa, he wouldn't have that argument.
This is it. And the thing is, and this debate has been in hip hop for ages. Hip hop is dead. There's no da 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 da. But there always has been hip hop with substance. It's just not promoted. Like we were talking about earlier, it's not promoted. It's not pushed. So when people hear it, it sounds weird to them. It's like this is alternative. Like I ain't trying to hear that. Like I just want to dance. People are trying to hear lyrics. They just want to hear the beat. So, but there are musicians, there are hip hop artists, there are Afrobeats artists that are putting that substance into their music, and it's just a case of, is it getting pushed? Is it getting promoted? And then secondly, are the masses taking it on board, or do they find it weird? Because if you just keep on hearing Versace, shaky bum bum, ooh, drop down low. If that's all you hear and that's all you know, when you start to hear eat right, live good, it's gonna sound weird. You're like, well, what's this? I can't be in. I've heard people say, I'm not trying to be in the club, yeah, and start thinking about these things. I just want to have a good time.
Yeah, I want to check.
You know, are the people also open to that? You know, so
you know what I thought of straight away when I had obviously that argument about, like, I just want to dance. I just want I want a brain dump. I don't want to hear about what's going on in the FTSE index. And I just thought of a really great sketch. And obviously in Bashment, they got the guys with champagne, modeling off the Americans basically. I just thought the champagne pouring over the women's chest, but it ain't champagne, it's CMOS. Or it's bitters, it's malice water. Yeah, pop that. You know what I mean? It's
brilliant. Brilliant.
That'd be a great sketch. All right, look, before we wrap up, I just want to ask you, because obviously, if you was to point any of your material right now to connect with what's going on around the world, what song, what catalog would you have a song you would say, you know what, listen to this, or haven't you made it yet?
Wow. Do you know what? My last project was called Arise and Shine.
Arise and Shine, yeah.
Arise and Shine. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. Please go check it out. I've got a website, mrbreis.com, MRBREIS.com. You can find all my stuff there. And I've got merchandise and whatnot. But the Arise and Shine EP, I think it's 5 songs. and there's a song on there called Keep On. And it's just encouraging us to keep on, like no matter what's going on, we just have to keep on. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that would probably be the song I would say is for the world, for the upliftment of the people them.
All right, let's do what Nori done. The only thing with that interview, I don't think Nori was the right person to do the interview with Buju Banton. It should have been more Sway. I think if any American was doing it, it should have been Sway, because he's more culturally sensitive.
Yeah.
Wild one. But all right, so let me ask you then. Pick one. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Public Enemy, Pure Righteous Teachers.
Public Enemy.
Karis One or Nas?
Nas. That was hard actually, but Nas, yeah, Nas.
All right. Beastie Boys, Third Level.
Beastie Boys.
Sway or Ty?
It's a tie. See, I did that.
All right. You're in a club. Last one. You're in a club, yeah, and it's packed, and they say, "Right, Breeze, take the mic. Are you gonna do a conscious tune, uplifting tune, or check the bam bam tune?"
It would be
It's packed.
You see, the way you've titled them is difficult, because I don't even call what I do conscious, but I definitely don't have shaky bum bum. But it's packed. I will give them shaky conscious.
You're asking these questions like you listen to that Buju interview, man.
Shaky conscious music. You will dance and you will think.
And
you're dancing.
Yeah. I will chappelle you.
Yes, exactly.
Breeze, listen, I want to keep up this relationship in the sense as this business relationship, working relationship, because I do believe as artists we should definitely be working alongside each other to build platforms. And when I rang you off the cuff, and we obviously now we get to know that we have got similar friends within the industry, you know what I mean? And it's like I can really see what you do connected to what I do. So let's talk. Let's put something out there, and just first and foremost make UK Black British proud. You know what I mean? We put a show on, because I can really see you doing a roundup for the week rap wise, and that thing going viral, King.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, it means a lot, man. I think that's something that we over here need to do more of. I mean, more collaborations, more supporting each other, and not even just in music, but you know what I mean, just what you're doing, what your people around you are doing. Just support them as much as you can, you know. So yeah.
And where can I catch you next? Or Instagram, follow Instagram, so to speak.
Yeah, people can follow me at Mr. Breeze, MRBREIS. Yeah, say hello, drop a comment, interact, man. Let's get to know each other.
I'm gonna run with that shaky conscious. All right, look, definitely last question. Do you follow football?
Not really.
That's my next topic. You've done the conversation, you know.
Finish him.
All right, fair enough. All right, look, Breeze, let's chat.
Yeah. All right, bro. All right, nice one. Respect. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's our very own Breeze in the building. He's gonna log out now. Log out, King.